What's up, everybody? The big 5-0. And no, I'm not talking about my age, you young whippersnappers. This is episode 50 of The Scope Live. It's just me and Buff this time. We're chilling now. What's up, man?
Not much, man. Just enjoying the holidays and not doing much of anything. So it's good. How about yourself?
I kind of had a similar Christmas as you for once. It seems like I'm always running all over everywhere, seeing my in-laws and my folks and stuff. And we actually did go to my in-laws, but it was a really chill Christmas. We were the only ones there. It was just the four of us. We kind of hung out, ate food and watched movies and chilled. And it was nice.
Very nice.
My last calm Christmas before I have a child. So
Yeah.
That'll be wild. But yeah, thanks everyone for being here. It's been a minute since it's just been me and Buff hanging out. We were talking about that before we went live. We've had some insane guests lately, man. We had Blue talk about World War III a few weeks ago, and then Big Fry talking about his game, and then Auntie from Road to Vostok talking about his game. So we've had a lot of stuff, and you poor suckers are just stuck with us this week. So settle in, and thanks everyone for being here. I hope Christmas, if you celebrate, was awesome for you as well. And I hope everybody's doing well. I hope this program finds you well. Did you get anything badass for Christmas?
I did. I got some extra parts to my plate carrier kit and all that. So I posted that in the Discord for everyone to see yesterday. So I got like some cummerbunds, battle belt, and some other accessories that go on that. So my kit is coming along, looks pretty badass. So if anyone wanted to see that, I did post it in the Discord yesterday. So I'll repost it if anyone wants to see it. But yeah, it was pretty. Other than that, just like some clothes, the necessities. Don't need much these days because being an adult, you can just buy whatever you need throughout the year. So
yeah,
it makes it a little easier. But
yeah,
how about yourself?
That's what my wife was saying, that it's really hard for her to buy anything for me because, well, like all the stuff that I want is like insanely expensive. It's like, well, I'd kind of like a new 4090 in my computer or something. It's like,
yeah,
it's a little steep with the little one on the way. But
right.
Oh yeah, speaking of money, Justin, thank you so much for the super chat before we went live. I appreciate that. I think I'm gonna start calling them supper chats because like they pay for my chicken nuggets. Thanks for
supper chat.
Thanks for the supper chat. I almost typed in supper chat and then it made me laugh when I said thanks. I might just stick with that. Yeah, I got a couple. I'm redoing my office to have more room, and I got some standing desks. So I'm excited to try a standing desk.
Nice.
Since our spare bedroom now is going to be the child's room, then I'm kind of rearranging and downsizing my office so this room could be a spare room when we have visitors. So I'm going to line up some standing desks. So I thought it'd be kind of fun maybe to do the broadcast standing up. I'll be all like, whoa, wild and standing up. Be crazy. Might be cool. I don't know. I'm into it.
Yeah, standing desks are really nice, actually.
Did you notice I'm wearing my bodybuilding.com hat? See that?
I did.
It's sweet. This is back when they used to send you cool free shit when you gotta order. Remember that?
They don't do it anymore? I haven't ordered
They do,
them
but the stuff's like crap. Like stickers and stuff. Like I got some back in the day that like you could pick out a free thing to get with your order, and I would get like I'd get like gym shorts or wrist straps, or like I got this this is a flex fit hat and like everything. Like
yeah, they used to have a lot of good stuff. And yeah, like you said, you just be able to pick from like a variety of things based on the amount of money you're spending per order.
They got hit by inflation too. It happens to everybody. Happens to the best of us. Yeah. Also, I found out that our show is a sham. So we're just scamming people over here.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah. I was on the toilet reading stuff like I do, and I was looking at all the most streamed shooter games, and they're games that we don't talk about. So I had like an identity crisis in the bathroom about like what we're doing over here, because we talk about like kind of traditional first person shooters and stuff. Well, I don't even know if you can say that, but stuff like the way far and away viewership on Twitch I saw was like the Valorant, CS:GO, Fortnite, which you're into, which is fine. We're there.
Yeah, I love Fortnite.
And then Apex Legends, and those are like games that we hardly ever talk about. So I don't know what we do. We just keep scamming people, or if we try to get some resident experts on to fill us in on that stuff. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, besides Fortnite, none of those are really our cup of tea. So
yeah, but man, I think Valorant's huge, and I get why it is. It's like it has the like the setting and graphics aren't something that you and I get excited about generally, but like the
Right.
gameplay is so solid with their mechanics. They're insane anti-cheat. They have 120 hertz servers. Um, like the ping lock and stuff on servers and how they do competitive is just insane. And the graphics are so good. It runs on a potato at 100 billion frames. So like they did a lot of stuff right mechanically with that game. But it just I tried it and it is fun, but I don't have enough hard drive space up here because I still have like the Rainbow Six operators and stuff and what they do floating around inside. And dude, it's so complicated. Like all the operators in Valorant, they have like 3 different abilities and you can earn them and use them at different times. And then you have to buy weapons in between rounds like CSGO. And I never played CSGO very much, so I'm not used to the don't ADS and don't strafe when you shoot and, you know, control and spray and stuff like that.
Right.
So it feels really foreign to me, and I don't have the time to like just get in there and figure it out. But also, hey,
Yeah.
did you get
Same here.
Did you get destroyed by a cold front up where you're at?
No,
Like-
I mean it like missed us here, thankfully, but it's like everywhere around us. So like we were like one of the few areas up here that really didn't get hit. I mean, we got some snow. We got bad snow like 1 or 2 days and cold, but it was really like nothing that we don't typically get. I think Thursday or no, like Friday or Saturday. Yeah, Friday I think was pretty bad, but that was really it. Everything it's been fine.
we had
So we got lucky.
We had like crazy weather. And then I'm getting sussed out by like the weather journalists, like the weather meteorologist or whatever. I'm hearing words like I've never heard before. Like my wife and I's phone went off at like 2 a.m. Like when you have a tornado warning or like an Amber Alert or something when it like freaks out. And it said a snow squall warning. SQALL snow squall.
Yeah.
So we had a snow squall, and then they were talking about on the weather like a flash freeze. And I'm like, man, it's cold, but I don't know. Like they're bringing out all these new words. I feel like they're starting to get a little into the headlines like the rest of the media. Maybe we gotta watch these weather folks. They're kind of embellishing things just a little bit, I feel like. But it was cold. It went from we were like 45 degrees, and then like an hour and a half later, we were like -10 real temperature and windy. So we had like we got to -40 wind chill for a little while. It was wild.
Oh
And
my
some snow.
God.
It was silly. Like it was silly. Like it was wild. So but it's starting to warm up now. Today it's still pretty cold, but it's like it's starting to chill out a little bit. But
yeah, we were not that bad at all. -40 wind chill is some serious, serious
yeah, it was
stuff.
a real deal. I went outside to help my wife with the horses, and I had everything covered. I had like a ninja mask on, and like a little spot on my forehead was open. And I went outside, and it instantly felt like someone was poking me right there with like a sharp object where my little piece of skin was exposed. It was so cold. And like I took everything off, and I had like a tan line, like if you're in the sun or something. Like it was just red, like from just touching the cold for a second. It was silly.
A little frostbite almost, huh?
Yeah, it was danger. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about before, sorry guys, I know this is a first person shooter podcast, but technically this is a podcast, we can talk about stuff. Have you seen the new Jack Ryan season?
No, that's I might actually start that like after this. So I just
highly recommend.
Someone was saying the other day it was out, and we were talking about like optics in one of the live streams or something, and so yeah, I need to start watching. Did you finish the whole thing?
No. I got the first 3 episodes down. And it starts just right. I mean, right where we left off. Like it's not a slow start or anything. It's awesome. Like it kicks right off with the action. So this and it's a little eerie. Because they had to have filmed it a while ago. It's a little eerie how they're on point with what's actually happening over in Europe. Like it's like they kind of nailed it, and I don't know. It's a little sus.
Is that so? Did they? When did they film it? Before what's going on there currently?
I need to figure that out because I feel like they would have had to, as long as it takes them to produce things, shoot things, edit things, color things, redo audio, like all the effects and everything. Like I sure would think they would have had to start before that and even like have the story done,
In writing the
before that.
story, yeah, exactly.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
true. Because you got,
Ukraine and everything's in there, and what's going? It's, I mean,
oh my god,
yeah, I
man.
don't know. I have to. We got to do some investigative journalism and figure it out if they kind of knew something that we didn't before it went down or something. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I'm curious for sure when they started shooting and all that, because
It's
maybe they just did like a really quick turnaround. Amazon might be on their game,
could be.
just like shot it all, and like I mean they did Terminal List too. I don't know how long that took, but who knows? They could have just done it really quick over the summer or something.
I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, Jack Ryan is like very on point with what's happening in the world today. So yeah, check it out. It's really cool so far. I like it a lot. Do you want to talk about video games?
I guess.
All right, let's do it.
I
Um,
suppose.
I guess. The first one I wanted
Hmm.
to talk about was Tarkov, which we haven't talked about in a long time. And I finally put it as a story on here because people have been saying Streets of Tarkov and New Wipe for like 2 months now. But it's
Hmm.
finally happening. They did release the .13 trailer today. It shows a lot of shots of the new AUG that's coming. And then showed underbarrel grenade launchers, which I think are going to be a big deal.
Okay.
They're going to be
Nice.
like noob tubes come to Tarkov, so I'm really excited for that. That'll be fun. And then there's a lot of stuff with Streets of Tarkov. The trailer's exciting, I think, because Streets is actually coming. It's been teased forever, what seems like, but at the same time, we've seen a lot of this already because it has been teased for so long. So it's not super crazy. Yeah. Oh, the other thing they're showing a lot of is the SR the SR1MP pistol, the Russian pistol with the full
Oh
auto, with the
yeah.
like conversion on it to make it a carbine with the stock and the foregrip and all that stuff to kind of turn it into an SMG, which a full auto one of those could be pretty wild. And then at the end of the trailer, it shows the guy going up into the light keeper. So the light keeper is supposedly going to be in there where you go up to the top of the lighthouse and you can see that boss. So
That's pretty cool.
that'll be crazy. I don't know, man. Tarkov's a weird game. What do you think of the trailer?
That was my first time seeing it, honestly. So I mean, it looks good. I have to look. I knew the AUG was coming and all of that, so I'm excited for that. AUG A3. Excited to see like the different variations and attachments you can get for that. Um, and if it's any good, because I know the G36 came and like we were talking about that and how everyone was hyped for it, and it ended up just kind of being like a really bad gun. But I don't know if they buffed it since. But yeah, I'm excited to kind of see the weapons and all that. And I'm seeing a lot of streets in the trailer too. So I mean, it's got to be coming. This isn't the new trailer? Is it this one here? You're playing the streets trailer
Yeah,
now.
yeah. This came out a few hours ago.
Oh,
And
okay, nice.
they're calling it the patch 13 trailer, and they said patch 13 is coming. So it's
Okay,
Streets is
so
for sure going to be here either this week or next week.
nice. Wow. Okay. Well, that's gonna be exciting. Yeah. That map looks crazy. I might need to do some PC upgrades to make sure I can get in and start doing the Tarkov grind again potentially. So yeah, that's exciting. I think that's an SR3 PDW there. I think I'd have to look at it again and double check it. I mean, naming could be off with that one, but yeah, the trailer looks awesome. Streets looks really cool. I've been looking forward to Streets since like 2018. I feel like is when we
Yeah,
first saw the original like trailer for this thing. So um yeah, I remember like just being in my office at work watching like Shroud react to it, and that was pre-pandemic, so we're talking like late 2018. And so
yeah.
it's been a while, man. So
I feel
maybe it
like
was in 2019, I don't know, but it was crazy.
I feel like there was a streak for a little bit where like every game award show and like every E3 and stuff, they'd show new stuff of Streets and get everybody hyped up, and then be like, Streets isn't coming. And
Yeah.
like there was like this up and down. Seth said Googling says Jack Ryan became production filming in May of 21. So pretty recently, man. They put that together fast.
Wow.
Gee whiz. Yeah, they put that together pretty quick. But
May of 2021. So last year, right? So over a year ago then.
yeah, so I
So
mean
it is pre-conflict and everything. So interesting.
yeah, they must have read the writing on the wall, I guess.
Yeah.
What
It
was
was
up?
not like it was hard to see, but yeah.
True, true. They kind of did the math
um
on that deal.
exactly, so that's good. I do see just a side, like, yeah, I'm excited for Tarkov. I'm gonna definitely watch some people play, and I'm probably gonna try and jump in and get some games. I love Tarkov. I just haven't been, playing it. And once my computer didn't really work with it well last wipe, I didn't get really back in and play it. So I'll probably try and jump in again and see after I get my computer updated here. But I do see, just like a complete side note, but not really. I see last night, like, Modern Warzone was talking about like yo, for all you dads trying to change COD, like, go, like, here's some games you can play, like Sandstorm, Tarkov, and Squad and that stuff. And then on his other account, his Doug Dig Gambit account, he's like, yo, might play some Tarkov, blah blah blah, when Streets hits this wipe. It's like, dude, like, what are you talking about? I don't know. I like it's just like there's a double standard with the COD community, and it's funny because, like, those people just get completely shit on in Tarkov,
Yeah.
and they're like, man, we can't have slow gameplay like that in Call of Duty. Like, this isn't Tarkov or Squad. And everyone was chiming in on it. And it's just funny because I think people that, like, say to go play those games have never played them. I mean, so credit to him for actually playing Tarkov, but
because they're not even close. Well, you know what he was doing on the Warzone account? Farming impressions. We're farming impressions. He always posts stuff like that on there.
Yeah,
Get people fired up.
Probably, yeah. Now he's got it on his personal account. But yeah, I mean, whatever. Tarkov's a really fun game, and I prefer it. I prefer Tarkov over any other, like, first person shooter like Call of Duty or anything like that. So
Tarkov's 1 of 1. There's no
you
other game like it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, you can't beat it. And that game, Tarkov, is so addicting, dude. If I get this thing, everything up and running again, and can play this, like, really smooth, that's what I'll be doing, like,
smooth, man. I don't know if Streets is gonna be smooth, dude. I worry about that quite a bit, because
if I can just play any of the other maps, okay, I'll be happy.
Yeah, but this is gonna be the first installment of Streets, so it is supposed to get expansions and get more opened up over time. So
naturally, yeah.
And they've said, I remember they said over the last couple years, when they're like, why no Streets, and Nikita would always say, working on optimization. I think they've had it blocked out and textured for like a really long time, and they've just been trying to get it to run better. They need Auntie to go help them out from Road to Vostok. Go help them out with their optimization.
Yeah, right. For real. But I think you're right. I mean, I think they've probably rebuilt it and re-optimized it, like, how many times? Because if we're seeing gameplay trailers back in, I think it was 2019. Yeah, the map's there, and they've been testing it and doing stuff on it for a long time. So
yeah, I think they've been working on it they've been working on it for a long time. I also remember some of the older trailers, they were showing stuff where, like, some of the objects on the map were actually going to be interactive, like when you would shoot a box, like paper would maybe fly out of it or something like that, which hasn't been the case yet in the game. They're always striving for realism and cool mechanics in this game. That's why around wipe time, I always get a weird feeling around Tarkov, because I'm just like looking at the community and I'm like, you guys want your game to delete all progress so you can have fun again? Like, that's such a weird paradigm for a game. Like, everyone's like, please delete it so we can have fun again. It's like such a weird vibe, but the game is just, it's 1 of 1. Like, there's nothing like it with all this stuff. I even saw in one video I watched, they were talking about, they were not during this patch, maybe in an upcoming patch, they were going to add loot that where you would find books on the map, find like recipe books for custom loads for guns, and then you could, once you got those recipes, then you could craft custom ammunition, different kinds of ammo in your hideout. So it's like just crazy. Oh, that's another thing I got for Christmas. I got a bunch of ammo for my 458. It's pretty exciting.
Ooh,
my buddy Clark loaded me some 500 grain subsonic soft tip copper, and then I got some full boat, like Magnum 350 grain soft points that are going to be pretty awesome. So yeah, I got some 458 ammo, which is ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, I bet it is.
I was thinking of that. Like, I think this spring I do want to try to do some like range streams, and when I go a couple weekends every month, I go to the shotgun range and shoot rounds of sporting clays and stuff. I think that'd be fun to stream shooting.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
But yeah, the other thing, Tarkov wise, was they did a Chronicles of Rizzy or Chronicles of Rizzy short film, and at the end of it they teased Arena.
Did they?
So
Yeah, I didn't watch all of it. I saw like little clips of it on Twitter, but I didn't watch the whole thing yet. So I forgot until you mentioned it that it was out.
yeah, so at the end they teased Arena, and then something else of note I wanted to show you guys that was also talked about is Dimitri, who's the head of PR for Battlestate Games. He put out a tweet and said, by the way, don't forget to follow Tarkov Arena. He did that just 4 days ago. So people are thinking, he's reminding people to go check out that account, reminding people to follow that account. So everyone's thinking something is going to be announced about Tarkov Arena. If we remember their previous timeline, they were saying late in the fall is when they were going to do closed alpha testing. So we're past that. So we should be getting close to the next phases of Arena testing.
Unless they maybe did closed alpha testing and just had NDAs,
I bet they did. I bet they did. And I bet they're getting ready for like the next thing, which will be beta, hopefully, and open stuff so we can see what it's like. I don't know how Arena is going to change stuff. And I'm really hoping with this wipe, and I think they are. Nikita did a Russian podcast and talked about changing up the tasks.
I saw that. Yep.
I've played like 2 or 3 wipes, and I have no desire to go get that goddamn pocket watch again from customs. Like
I hate a lot of those things. Are just so tedious, and
a lot of them you have to do to get the traders unlocked to get the good stuff to be able to frag. It's weird.
I love the ones on woods. Like I think when they did the woods expansion, I really enjoyed doing a lot of I think it was for proper or whoever the guy was, makes you do a lot of stuff on woods there. Like I learned that map really, really quick just from doing this. So I mean, there's a purpose, but once you do them over and over and over again, it's definitely, you just kind of like, I don't really look. If I think about on that, my least favorite part now is like the early wipe, I feel, but I don't know. I personally like getting my flea market and stuff up and then just kind of like gearing up and going in and playing my way, but it's still fun.
Yeah. I get tilted way faster than most people when doing quests and stuff doesn't work. My buddy Hydro that is really good at Tarkov, he can grind those quests and it's no problem. But like every time, man, I'm like, why are they making me play this way? I don't want to play the game this way, but I have to do it to unlock the stuff from the traders. I was like, But no, I'm interested to see if they change the tasks. I'll probably put quite a bit more time into it. The gameplay is pretty darn good when it works, and I'm just scared of the bugs. I'm scared of the streets bugs, like what they're gonna have. But that's just part of it.
Yeah, that, and then like the other thing that definitely always gets me frustrated is like for some of the ones on woods, for example, you'll complete those quests and you need to extract for it to like actually complete. So there's been times like I've done this quest like 3 or 4 times in a row and just like can't get out of the map. And that was like partially when I was learning it, I like didn't know what the hell I was doing on that map and kept running into like the landmine fields and just like blowing up. And there was other times like I thought I was going to a different spot on the map. I didn't know where the extract was, and I was like looking, and I went to one of the parts where there's the sniper, and like obviously those snipers just like dome you really quick. And then I ran into like some players and stuff like that. So it's just it would get frustrating when you like actually do it multiple times, but you don't extract, so it doesn't count. So you just got to keep going and doing it.
Yeah. If you're looking at trying to get into Tarkov this wipe, I highly recommend doing your best to find a friend or somebody that's played it before that can help you out a little bit. I can't. Yeah. Did you jump into this thing on your own and like just learn it, like figure it out? Because that had to be brutal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. So like what I did is my buddy and I, he's like, hey, there's a Christmas sale, and we had been watching the game for a while at this point. And so, yeah, I mean, like I didn't even play with him for a while. So I just jumped in and watched, like we found some good, like everything you need to know. This was like the Christmas sale 2019. So going into the early 2020, like, I think I bought it like December 23rd or something for the Christmas sale of 2019. And then yeah, I watched like the beginner's guide videos that people had out at the time, because the sale was there, and it was, you know, I don't know, it was like midwife probably at that point. So yeah, I like watched like a couple 40+ minute videos to try and like learn basics, like learn the controls and all this stuff. And then I just started doing it. I would go in solo forever. And then I was able to get like one or two guys to come in once in a while, some buddies to play with me. But yeah, I was pretty much running solo. And I actually don't mind running solo. Honestly, I feel I play better solo. When there was times where
Yeah,
I would get in there with like five guys, and it's just freaking chaos because
that
it's like, hey,
100%.
are you if you get engaged by another team, like the radio chatter just goes nuts, and you got everyone's just like
Is
so
that you? Is that you?
uncoordinated.
Is that you? I don't know, man. What are you talking
Yeah,
about over there?
and
Like
then
it's
and
yeah.
then I don't shoot somebody because I'm not sure if that's like one of the guys on our team, and then he turns around and kills me. I'm like, oh my god, blah, 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 and like yeah, it's just like a mess. So whenever I play with
Yep.
like five people, I'm like the guy that like dies like instantly. So I prefer going in solo or at least as a duo because I feel like a solo can wreak more havoc than a team of five, honestly.
Yeah, the nice part about being a solo is if it moves, you can kill it and it's fine.
Yeah,
So like everything's a
exactly,
threat. And
exactly.
I really like solo or duo too. Anything more
Mhm.
than that gets sketchy. I can rock a trio pretty good with my really good friends Hydro and Ham. Like we can rock a trio. The main trick we do is we all like the level 2 or 3 next outfit you get for bear is a short sleeve
Mhm.
shirt. And
Yeah.
so we'll rock those short sleeve shirts, and not many other people do. So we're always
Mhm.
like, short sleeves don't shoot, like we know like what each,
Yeah, yeah.
because you can see those bright white arms. It's not tactically advantageous on woods because our arms are sticking out like crazy, but so we don't
Right,
shoot each
right.
other. We operate a lot better if everybody's wearing short
Mhm.
sleeves.
Well, yeah, it's easier to see than armbands because, like, sometimes armbands,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not gonna see those all the time unless you're like zoomed in or right up in someone's face.
I remember that. I remember when we were pretty new and we were rocking a trio for the first time. It's like, oh, we get these armbands, perfect. That's what they're for. So we put on the cheapest ones were yellow. So it's like, all right, we bought all these cheap ass yellow armbands. You can't see those things.
Yeah, not at all.
I shoot Ham in the back of the head. I'm like, I got him, and Ham's like, yeah, you did. You got me. I'm like, what? You didn't have an armband. And then I walk over and look at the body, and there's the armband. It's like, yeah, those don't work like you'd think initially.
Friendly fire and Tarkov's the best. Like my buddy would just be like,
Test
yeah, we
friendships.
spawn. Yeah, like sometimes you don't spawn together once in a while, or like I would spawn in a little later, or he would spawn in a little bit later, and be like, "Yeah, where are you? Okay." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm running towards you right now. I know where you are. That this is me running." It's like, "Oh, there's," oh, and like just shotguns me to the face. It's like, "Oh, I got him! I got him!" I'm like, "Dude, like what the fuck?"
Yeah.
So it's just really funny. Yeah, every time you jump in the first time, you're gonna team kill somebody. It's just what happens.
It's pretty insane, but it's just watching Tarkov, since it's such a unique game, as it progresses through the wipes and stuff, has been so interesting. And like I said, I'm so interested. Like I feel like I'm just observing the community when they're craving a wipe. It's like so weird to me. Like you want the game to delete so you can have fun again. It's so weird. So like when they get it to the where it's into 1.0, where it is what it is, what it's going to be, it's going to
Mhm.
be interesting to see how they deal with that. Same with DMZ, because I feel like you get to a point of progression of an extraction game mode, and I haven't seen
Mhm.
one that seems like it has indefinite fun like some multiplayer games do. Maybe no games really have indefinite replayability. Everything gets kind of old, but I just mean like through how the progression works, like the nature of the game, there gets to a point where you have all these chads that have all the gear, and then you
Right.
have new people that are like, I don't want to go in there. Everybody's using AK-10 or what were the new AK? Like I can't remember the new AK.
What was the mutant or
Yeah, the
the
mutant's
rifle
another one.
dynamics one? But yeah, or whatever it was.
Yeah,
I can't remember
everybody's
what it
got a
was either.
mutant. Everybody's got a
Yeah,
mutant and BP ammo and a pocket full of impact grenades that
yeah.
insta kill you. It's like, do you want to go in as a new player? So
I
I don't
mean,
know.
my buddies and I were like, when I went in solo, and then my buddy would come in with me, and we were running duos when we first started. And I mean, it was like mid wipe or maybe getting closer to the tail end, and that was still the furthest I've ever made it with like rank and Tarkov because like we would just I mean, that's a game that rewards you for like for skill. I feel really well because I mean, we would just set up traps. We wouldn't exfil camp at all, not even close. But we would just do everything right and just be killing super geared players and coming out with like all the loot in the world. It was great, and we would kill some of the bosses. So we would just have our stashes like loaded up with all these Gucci guns, and we didn't even have flea market yet. So I mean, it's good stuff. It just really depends on how you want to play it. And honestly, like there's been a couple wipes where I just don't even do the missions. I just go in there and try and get as much stuff as I can all the time. That's all I care about.
Yeah, that is a way to play, and that's the counterpoint to what I said, right? Like anybody can one shot somebody to the eye. Like
Yeah.
no matter how shitty your guns and stuff are, you have a chance, like to take
Five
somebody
seven,
down.
man. That 5.7 pistol. Some people I've run into players like on man, I always forget the name of the map. What's that military that
Reserve?
with yeah, the reserve. That one, like I've run into some players in some of those like Black Knight buildings and stuff with like 5.7s who just like wreak havoc. And but like that's so fun though. Some of the most fun I've ever had is like spawning on reserves with a buddy and like pushing in for like blue car or just like pushing into one of the buildings to hold a position because we know it's a hot building, like Black Knight or some of those in that circle or that square there, because you know players are going to be coming. You listen to them and you get in like some crazy ass firefights in those buildings. Like damn, that's fun, and you just like kit out some of your AKs and you usually can come out of there with good loot. And the good thing is, like, also that I love about Tarkov is like on reserve and other maps. Obviously, you have like the raiders and all these other high tier hard AI. I mean, if you can farm them and come out with their stuff, I mean, that's a good way to build up your stash, and that's fun.
Yep.
It's always a challenge for me, but
Yep.
yeah, I love sneaking around reserve with like a suppressed 105 or something like that and just wrecking people. It's fun.
We were doing one night we were doing 0 to hero where everybody would spawn in solo with a 9x18 Makarov, and that was it.
Oh god, yeah.
And then you had to run around, and I actually head eyes the guy with like a complete crazy Chad kit with it. He came running up to me and shot me in the leg, and I got on the proc chat. I was like, "Dude, you shot me in the leg. I don't have a gun. I don't have a cut. I'm just doing quests, like to try to get him to chill out. Like I wasn't gonna kill him if he didn't want to." And I peeked around and he shot me in the arm, and I'm like, all right, we're doing this. And I just came around the tree and dumped the mag by as close to his head as I could get. And I hit him I hit him in the eyeball with a 9x18, and I took all his stuff. That was pretty cool.
God. Those 0 to heroes are the best. Like I would do the same thing with the Makarov on reserve. And there's a couple of those 50 cal, those the cord emplacements, the Russian 50 cal machine guns that are there. And I would, I think it's in Black Knight or White Knight. There's 150 cal on like the roof that you can get on in like overlook towards the train extract almost. And sometimes when people rock the siren, they run down through some of those buildings. You can get an opening there or other players. And there's been a couple of times I've just like destroyed some people with that 50 and came out with like all the gear, some super kitted AS Vals back when they were meta, really, really nice RPK 16s, like level 6 plate carriers, all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, you can play that game any way you want. It never gets old, really.
We'll have to see what it looks like. That is the thing. There's so many ways to play, like stealthy, you're running to get everything. There's so many ways to play. But yeah, I might put some time into it. I'll definitely check out Streets somehow, some way. I'll log in and do that for sure. I don't know how it's gonna run, man. Like they talked about eventually where they want Streets. They want a lot of PMCs. They want a lot of scavs on this thing and bosses with vehicles and things, and that's just a lot going on. I think that I'm guessing a lot of the bugs, and this is just me. I've interviewed developers before, so I know stuff. Like there has to be so much going on netcode wise, because the loot all over the map has to have a location, what it is, that has to be sent out to everybody's client. When somebody picks it up, that has to go. When somebody takes something, when somebody moves, when somebody dies, all that information for all those gunfights, all those player positions, all those scav positions, what loot's on who, that all has to be equal among all the clients and all the servers. So there's just so much netcode stuff going on, and I feel like that's probably where a lot of the problems come from. And it sounds like Streets is going to be really, really complex and intricate, where most of the rooms you can go into. So I mean, there's just going to be so much loot and so much stuff to keep track of. It's going to be brutal on people's CPUs, I feel like, keeping track of all that information.
Yeah, I mean, and I was having trouble running it just like the beginning of the last wipe, so definitely going to need to make some upgrades for sure.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm nervous on how it runs, but excited to see it. And um, I I wonder if my crew will want to get back in and play it. It'll be interesting to see. Um, I guess we can go right into is DMZ gonna run into the same problem as Tarkov needing a wipe? I don't know. You want to talk about a little Warzone?
Yes, please.
Warzone DMZ. All right. Well, I'll let you kick this one off. You've probably been playing it a little bit more than I have. I've been checking out your streams and stuff. Um, I've been kind of sticking to multiplayer. And then I would like to dive into that that conundrum, or I don't know what it would be, like that issue of certain people. Dude, so many people want all the Warzone 1 mechanics back. With the movement and stuff.
I think that's
and
so.
it's like
it
it's
pisses
weird.
me off. Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. Maybe we're old, but I don't feel like it. Because I mean, what we've said is we can play like that. We can slide all over hell. It's just exhausting and annoying to do constantly. Like I feel like ADD chasing squirrels playing that way, but I can. So I don't know where's Warzone at and DMZ, and what have you been up to with it last week?
Yeah, I mean, talking about Warzone, first off, I think I know they added like the loadouts back, and like yeah, not everyone, like I think it's the vocal minority is talking about where they want the old mechanics back. I mean, the good thing is you can still have those mechanics. Just go play the old Warzone that Raven Software ruined and turned it into like complete shit. There's a reason people don't want to go back and play that. So I think it's kind of ridiculous. Like we want all the same stuff. I don't like that. I think the game plays really well, and I think even adding the loadouts, I just think it was unnecessary. I don't know why they did it, and I haven't really noticed an issue with it because they adjust the cost, which is cool, but I don't know. I'm having some problems with the way Warzone plays. And another thing is like kind of away from the loadouts and the changes is like the hackers. I know Chase in chat is talking about it. Like, yeah, I don't know if it's just my lobbies, but I know some of the people who I'm playing with have like Chase said they got killed by some guy that was blatantly hacking, and his skin was Minotaur from Modern Warfare 2019 in Warzone 2. So, and I ran into hackers in Building 21 the other day. And just in Warzone in general, I've been running into a lot of aimbotters and people with like obvious walls too. So it's definitely getting frustrated. And then obviously when people just buying their loadouts, it kind of just it's weird. And I think I don't know. It's hard to like put it all together because I love Warzone 2. Regardless, I keep playing it because I thoroughly do enjoy it. There's definitely some issues. I don't think adding the loadouts is like a make or break thing for anybody. But I do see people get as much money, get our loadouts, and then try the kill chase thing. People try to kill chase. But the good thing is, like, kill chasing doesn't really work in the game. Like, a better player is always going to outplay that. I think so. No matter what happens with Warzone, I'm enjoying it. My number one gripe, though, that I really, really do not like is the later circle shifts. Like when you're in the final circle and it's closing, and then it shifts like 3,000 meters to like the north or something. Everyone needs to like sprint around. So there's like some crazy circle pulls that seem to never ever go my direction ever. They're always going the complete opposite way. And so I kind of miss just the circle closing, you know what I mean? And like what happened to closing and like small shifts? Instead, we're shifting. Like we had a couple circles the other day that we're literally needed to run 1,300 meters, like across half of the map to get to position. And if you're on the far end of that circle where you need to move the furthest, like all the other people need to do is sit in their buildings, because that's what everyone does, is sit in buildings, and you're going to die. But I think the one thing here is like sitting in buildings, it almost puts you at a disadvantage because of those shifts. Like you need to leave the buildings and you need to run a long distance. So I think we've had the most success, like not being in buildings, being on the bottom floor, not going for high ground in some of those buildings. But the circle shifts near the end game, I don't mind that, but it's like every single time. Okay, guys, it shifted the complete opposite way of us. We need to run 800 to 1300 meters past like 1700 buildings where there's just teams sitting in these buildings and they're going to kill us because we have to move the furthest. So that's my most frustrating part of Warzone right now. So if we're just talking about Warzone, that's what I hate. I hate the hackers and people on Twitter talking about slide canceling, add slide canceling back. I think that's really unnecessary because it was a broken mechanic that was never intended to be, and people abuse the shit out of it. So, and then people will counter with that and say like, "Go play squad, go play Arma, blah blah blah. Stop trying to change COD." But like those people didn't play Call of Duty originally. They've only played after Ghost when they added sliding. Like you used to not have sliding in the game. So don't come at me on Twitter acting like you are this COD expert when you started playing within the past like 10 years. Like, you know, some of us have been there since 02 or whenever the first one came out. So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. And I mean, COD movement, even as it is now, is faster than like 80% of the other shooters out there. You can still you can still play fast. People complaining about campers, I don't get it. There's so many ways to deal with them. Drill charges, cameras, recon drones, like to see them, heartbeat sensors. There's so many ways to deal with campers that I don't understand. Drill charges have been amazing. I've been still just playing the shit out of search and destroy with friends. It's been so fun.
That's what I see you on. Yeah, that's what I see you on all the time. Like, and that's the thing. Like core multiplayer and like search and destroy. Like I think those play perfect for me.
It plays really well. The thing it's suffering from is all of the other content. I get it now. This is the first COD I've been into the multiplayer since 2019. And even then I wasn't that crazy into it, and I probably played more Warzone when that came out. But as someone who's really enjoying multiplayer right now with search and destroy, and they added cyber attack and hostage mode, like those tactical games, this game, the feel and play is perfect for that. And I've been really enjoying it. I'm feeling that when people are talking about it's killing multiplayer because they're doing all this content for DMZ, which is great, and they're doing the content for Warzone and stuff. There's only been 2 new maps, and only one of them is in search. So, and it's Shipment that we played a bunch in 2019, or not Shipment, Shoot House that we played a bunch in 2019. So it's like at this point for people playing multiplayer, we need some effing maps, dude. Like it's starting to get stale. There's still this COD has some of the sketchiest netcode too in a long time. And even in multiplayer, there's some weird shit going on with netcode. I know Jack Braggs did that video about random damage, and there's rumors and everybody instantly thinks it's skill based damage. I don't know about that. That would be a hard sell for me. I think
let's just think about the coding behind skill based damage
for like real time
algorithm. Yeah, the algorithms would be fucking insane. No way they're going through that trouble right now.
No, I think it's just shit netcode. You'll have it feels really like packet loss and buffer bloat, where like you'll shoot somebody and you'll be like, am I shooting this person? And then all your bullets will hit and they're dead. Or vice versa. Someone will shoot at you, you'll get into a gunfight and your bullets will kind of quit counting, and then one of you's dead. It's like a coin flip. So like just it's netcode. It's a netcode problem. I don't think it's intentionally in the game. That's pretty wild. That's a little too far for me to go right now. I'm not saying it's not possible. There's some, like I've said a lot of times, there's some weird ass algorithm patents that Activision has to keep people playing the game. So I'm personally, I just feel like based on experience and what's going on with the game and how they are with development, it's got to be a netcode problem. I still see it in Warzone a lot too. I had a bug that we played Mini Royale, me and Walt and Boone, and had a lot of fun. We got several wins in Mini Royale, and it does have the original circle where at the end it just shrinks. Like you get to the last circle and then it shrinks. So that was, and I didn't think about it until you mentioned it. That was nice to play that way again.
Yeah.
And we got several wins there, but we had a game where we got second place. I lost to 1v1, and I'm not saying this is why, but I couldn't plate. I had 3 plates. I had 6 more plates in my backpack. I was spamming my Q key, and it wouldn't put plates in.
Yeah.
So I had to take
I've had that too. Yeah.
So I had to take the last fight with no plates, and you know how that went. Like when they have 3 and I have none. So like that was frustrating. But
and those damage issues, I think, they're pretty, like we're seeing those a lot in Warzone too. I know, like when we play like sometimes people you're shooting take a million bullets. Sometimes they take like a few bullets, and sometimes you'll die instantly. Sometimes you'll take a lot of damage. So it really is. Wow, it looks like I'm lagging really, really bad on my
Yeah, it's
side.
been kind of going up and down. I'm not sure why. I quit playing a video to see if it was on my end. That's why I quit.
Yeah, I'm not
I quit.
sure. It shouldn't be my internet, so I don't know what's going on. But regardless, hopefully my audio is not
The
breaking
audio's
up
still coming
despite
through
the.
good. Yep.
Okay, good. Um, what the hell was I saying? Yeah, so the damage definitely seems inconsistent, I think, in Warzone dependent. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely the good thing is, like, at the end of the day, no matter what, no matter all the issues, and I want to talk about DMZ a little bit here too, but no matter all the bugs or issues, like, I'm still having a blast playing it. Like, I could play. I feel like I could just play this game all day, every day. It's kind of where I'm at, and it's kind of like what I'm doing because I'm on like vacation till like the new year, so I got nothing to do but just kind of hang out. So I'm having a blast no matter what. Um, but yeah, there's definitely some changes that I think they can make to optimize it more is probably the main thing. There's definitely not skill based like damage going on, but I think we talked about it a couple shows ago too. In the firing range, like sometimes I don't know if this translates over, but sometimes in the firing range, like you'll hit a center mass shot and you don't get, it doesn't count as a hit. It's like it just kind of like teleports through the guy and doesn't hit, and that happens to me a lot. So I'm curious if that's probably the exact same thing that's happening in multiplayer because I'll go single fire and tap shot to the chest or the heads to how many shots, to blah blah. Look at the accuracy if I'm tap firing, and like it's a clear hit, and you watch the bullet go through, and you don't get a hit marker, and it doesn't count for the damage. So I'm sure something, probably the exact same thing like that is happening in the gameplay.
Yeah, something's up with that. I hope it gets fixed like really bad. With DMZ, I'm a bad person and haven't had it line up where I haven't been able to get into building 21. But I watched your video on it. It looks awesome. Dude, it looks so labby. It's the labbiest labby lab I've ever seen. From
Oh
Tarkov. It's like
yeah,
crazy.
it looks so much like labs, and it's awesome. Like it's dark. It's fun as hell to play. We played it a lot last night too on a pretty long late stream we did. We got shit on last night, but we had some really good runs the other day. Got out with a weapons case. A lot of good PvP when you run into it, but like those bots, it's all Shadow Company in there, and they're different types of Shadow Company as far as like armor goes. You have like the light armored all the way up to like very heavy armored that'll like push you aggressively. So there's so many instances where we're like, oh, players, and it's just like the Shadow Company bots coming in and just going crazy. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun, especially because there's different key cards for different colored rooms, and you got to learn where those rooms are. You can't pull up the map in the game. You got to look at the maps by the staircase to see where you are in the floor layout, and you just kind of got to learn the map. And you can get those different colored access cards like red, black, green, and blue, I think is the ones. And then there's other rooms that you got to hack into the servers in the basement to unlock, and then you can get upstairs to get the weapons cases. It's very, very intricate, and the PvP's so much fun. So right now, like, Justin and I were grinding like all freaking day to try and get another weapon slot opened up. So we're like working on Legion tier 4 right now to get our second slot, because when building 21 opens back up, it sucks not having your weapons. But the good thing is, like, there's high tier loot on that map, especially if you get one of those access cards and get in there. There's
Have you done that?
yeah,
Gotten some of the rooms?
we got into every room multiple times, like based on your spawn. Like I think all the rooms, like red, black, and green are all on the bottom floor, I believe. But so we would get them, and based on our spawn, like we would try and push right towards some of those rooms. But a lot of other people are doing it too. So there was some instances where like we would get sandwiched because players would come down the stairs from the floor up and like come up on your flank when you're engaged in another team in the parking garage. So it's wild, man. But yeah, getting in those rooms, got a lot of good loot. And Velikan is like the boss there on the top floor. So Velikan from Modern Warfare 2019, that Shadow Company operator. I mean, it's him, and it even says Velikan is active on the floor, and he's got the same mask and everything, and he's got the grenade launcher, that MGL. So he pushes you hard and like messes people's shit up, and then you have a wheel set on the top floor rolling around too. So I
Jeez.
mean, it's not easy, man. It is hard, and it's very. It gives me like heavy Tarkov vibes, especially when you just are rolling around and you run into like you can tell when you run into a geared player because you can see the big ass backpack and you're like, oh shit, shit.
Yeah.
It's a it's a Chad player essentially.
That's similar to Tarkov. We got a thick boy.
Yeah,
We got a thick,
yeah,
juicy boy.
yeah,
Yep.
just thick as hell, yeah. And but the PvP is amazing, and even if you don't run into players, I mean, it's fun and it can be pretty hard to like get out of there. Honestly, there's especially we've been trying to get out sometimes. Sometimes we didn't even run into players, and it's just like the longer you stay in, the higher the security like escalates there. So they bring in more and more AI. So we had a lot of trouble last night specifically. We were just getting harassed heavy by the shadow company like over and over, and we couldn't get out a couple of those times. I think we missed an elevator. So you gotta when it's time to get out, you gotta get out quick, and it's not easy because other people can push into that elevator. It's wild. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of replay value there, and they took it offline this morning, and I think it's going to come back. It was like 90 hours on the counter, so probably mid to the end of the week because that counter wasn't 100% accurate last week. They put it live like 12 or 15 hours early, so it'll be back up this week. So getting the key card is pretty easy though. Like once you get one, I never lost it. I kept it in my like key stash and it just let us keep going in. So I don't know if that's
Oh, I hope it
bugged or if
stays
that's
like that.
yeah, I don't know if it was bugged or that's the intent. But I mean, when we needed to get gear, we would go into El Mazra really quick and like get stuff and get keys from the supply drops, and then you can even, I mean, you can zero to hero that honestly, just bring in like a easy weapon because the bots have a lot of weapons, and if you can, there's usually 2 plate carriers there. You can find medium backpacks, and especially if you get one of those colored key cards, which you can find them on Al Mazra, and you know where those rooms are. Like you're gonna get 3 plate carriers, ammo boxes. You're gonna get a lot of goodies. So we went in a couple times with like after we just died and didn't have plate carriers, no selves, nothing. Just brought in like a basic SMG and we did fine. So
Yeah, you guys need to take me in there, carry me. I wanna check it out. I haven't. It hasn't worked out on my
hard.
schedule yet. That's
It's hard, man. It's not easy, but it's fun.
it's kind of cool that it is limited time. I saw some people getting mad about it. Like not able to play it and stuff. When it was
It's
live, it
good,
didn't line up with
though.
their schedule. Yeah, it's cool. It makes it a little
Yeah.
bit more special. Like it makes it
Yeah,
a little bit cooler.
this went up when they accessed it for the first time the other week. Like since then, I've just been like addicted to DMZ. So now that it's not there, I mean, I was still playing all day. Working on my missions to get those other slots open up. So I mean, it's plus there's something really different. I think the firefights in DMZ are very very different than Warzone because you're engaging heavily with AI the whole time, so you don't really expect to run into players, and when you do, it's even I mean specifically on Almanzar, when you do, you're like, oh shit, like players, and when you run into players on Building 21, it's like your heart might explode. Is like how crazy you get that. Not quite as crazy as you get like with Tarkov, where like your heart's pounded and you're like sweating and freaking out, but it was pretty close those first few times. So it's a lot of fun, and it just makes me want to play more DMZ because I know Building 21 is going to come back, and I just want to grind DMZ right now. That's all I want to do.
I need to try it because I was getting a little bit bored of DMZ just a little bit because I felt like it was kind of there wasn't a lot of I don't know why I kind of started to get a little bored of it going in and doing the tasks and the missions and stuff.
What tier of your missions are you on?
Oh, I'm on like I think I have everything tier 3 almost done.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm not that far from getting the next slot open, but at the same time, I was like, I was doing just fine with the RPKs that you get from the AI. Like I wasn't too worried about.
Yeah.
Because you can still kill players with those, for sure.
Yeah,
but
you can.
I've just been having so dang much fun in S&D because Just playing it with
I see
friends,
that, yeah.
like we always have 4 of us, and it gets kind of sweaty and competitive, and just talking shit to the other team, because they're always a bunch of edge lords just wanting to say, you know, N words and slurs and stuff all the time, and then you just hit them with some
You
like
guys are
facts
just
or
wrecking them.
some half-ass intelligent trash talk, and they don't know what to do, and then you just beat them, and it's so fun.
No, I mean,
I'm
that's what
just
happens when people are watching TikTok all day. They don't know how to like respond to anything.
kind of true, dude. TikTok is a trash place to be. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I got rid of that app and everything. I haven't posted there in a long time either.
I was thinking about, because you mentioned something. I was like, man, do I like? And other people have mentioned like, yo, you should do like some quick conversion stuff on TikTok. It'd be really good, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I just couldn't
You
do it.
you can get a lot of views, but I've been seeing some like investigative stuff.
No, it's a
Not
sketchy platform.
not even the spying stuff. Just they have like some underage kids doing some sketchy stuff on there, and they're not banning them. And then it's on top, like stuff that I've experienced myself, is so much content on there is ripped from other creators. Like,
oh yeah,
so many
100%.
people will take like Swag's clips and Asmongold's clips and from other streams and just rip it, copy it, and get millions of views. And it's so frustrating and shitty, and they don't do anything about it. It's just, there's not that much. There's some funny stuff on there, some cool content, but so much of it's unoriginal and people reposting and stitching other people's stuff. It's just like, it's like a cesspool of people stealing others' content. And
That's kind of like what Instagram's kind of turned into in the gaming space, at least. You know, the gaming space is like I see other like reels of other people's streams, and it's like, this isn't even, this isn't.
yeah, and then you
whoever.
look at the account and it's like COD guy 545. Like, that's not
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's just
It's
weird.
weird.
So I kind of, you can get a lot of views on it, but then it's really hard to turn those into anything else. If you want them to come to your other channels, it hardly ever works. And
Yeah, exactly.
the quality of you, it's weird. It's a weird thing. But yeah, anyway, I've been really loving S&D, streaming that, and Warzone. Mini Royale was really fun. I need to get back into DMZ. I was hitting it pretty hard there for a little while. I'm like, I can play it like, and I haven't hit DMZ, so that might get the bug going again. I'm good for like 2 or 3 raids, like with me and a couple of my friends, like 2 or 3 raids. And then I'm kind of like, okay, I'm ready to go do something else. And I don't, maybe I'm just I don't know. Maybe I'm just a diva. Am I a diva? I don't know.
I gotta ask you. Well, first off, I see the gameplay in the background. You're running that OKP7 optic on that AK-103, which I love, and I need to unlock that because
It makes
looks
people
really
mad.
clean. It looks clean on there, and I was playing with it in private, so I was like, man, I need to unlock this because it's a beautiful optic. But the other thing was, I wanted to ask you, like, for regular Warzone, I'm not sure how many wins you guys have gotten, but I want, like, do you think, I mean, obviously there's always a level of skill involved, but right now I'm feeling with Warzone, the way those circles are like completely shifting like that, I feel like the winner is typically just like pure luck as to who's going to win, who happens to be in the right spot of that circle shift to hold other people. Because I mean, we won a game Saturday on stream. A guy died, and the other 3 guys on the team clutched it. And like we got the circle shift, so all the other teams in the buildings had to push off rooftops towards the bridge where we were all set up and like mounted. So I mean, it's like if that circle went the other way, which typically it always does for us, and we have to push towards, and we just get held like the no cover, So I feel right now that like Warzone wins. Obviously, there's a lot of skill there for sure, but it's very random luck as to who's gonna. There's no predicting that circle pull, and typically if it doesn't go your way, you're gonna die.
Yeah, I'm talking so much shit in this clip right now because the other team was talking smack and they were all using riot shields trying to beat us with riot
I
shields.
was watching all those riots.
Yeah, we beat them and it felt so good. Like I love that. That's like where I'm at right now with this game and what I'm loving to do. And a lot of times they all leave, and then it's like, oh, they all left.
Yeah.
Weird. But anyway, with what you said, I feel like that's kind of been an inherent issue of mine with battle royales. And I know my buddy Ham, that really gets to him. When a lot of it is random. You get hit with a lot of random stuff in BRs. You can play it well. You can take, and that's part of the fun is adapting to what it gives you, right? Like, and that's the replayability because you don't know how that shit's gonna line up. You don't know what guns you're gonna find. You don't know where the circle's gonna pull or whatever. But I get it, man. That's one of the biggest downers of a BR is when you've played really well. Maybe you got a lot of kills, you made some really good rotates, and then that last circle, it pulls you like up a hill and somebody can just sit on top in like a building and just murder you. And there's nothing you can do about it. I get that.
But it's not even just like up a hill. It's like you got to go up a hill and 1,300 more meters, you know.
Yeah, those really far circle pulls. I know what you're talking about. It's been a couple times and it happens towards the end. There's like 5 or 6 other teams left. And then it's like, holy shit, we got to go across the map. And like, and you always get caught out in the open. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel they did change it to where they added a little bit more variety where they don't split all the time. I think they lowered the chances for the circle to split.
Yeah, for the 3 split, but I honestly prefer the 3 split because by the time that you get to that final circle, you know, that's typically the shift is the 3 circles shift into the 1, and then you don't really see. Typically, I think if I'm remembering correctly, because I haven't seen a three circle split in a long time, but that last circle after the 3 split typically like only closes and shifts a little bit. These single circles are the ones that are shifting like super far, and it just is super random. You just got to be on the right end of the circle, and you'll have a better chance to win the game. So many times we're like, okay, we got to do a hard right all the way around and try and circle around. And by the time we get there, teams that were already on the other end of the circle had to move a lot less distance, and they were already in these buildings camping the rooftops as we're pushing through an open area. So
yeah, I did know. I know what you're talking about. Hopefully they change that. I guess them changing the percentage of split circles has shown that they are willing to change that mechanic. So maybe they'll figure out that it needs balance.
They might, but I thought the split circles closing in like that were better. I thought that ended up being a better gameplay experience than just these crazy.
It was cool because it was new. I don't think I can say one way or the other. I haven't played it enough. I probably have like 4 or 5 wins, and then when we played Mini Royale, we got like 5 wins that night. Like that, we were winning a lot on Mini Royale.
Yeah,
it just doesn't take as much time to get down to the final.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see what they do with that. But yeah, I mean, DMZ is kind of my thing right now. I'm loving DMZ, having a blast. Justin and I were doing like finishing up some of the tier 3 missions and getting into tier 4 today, and like, you know, just like a lot of fun, especially just running into players and like, oh shit, you know, we're doing this mission, but like these are some players. Do we engage? Do we not engage? You know, just so there's like a good variety of gameplay there. You can either like get in, do your stuff, get out, or you end up running into like some crazy firefights, which you're like, holy shit, that was at the end when you get out, you're like, wow, that was freaking nuts. So it's a lot of fun. I'm like a crackhead with DMZ right now, kind of like you are with Search. So
that's cool. Yeah, I need to get that way. Man, there's a lot of really people having good luck with DMZ content on YouTube too, though. I think there's a lot of people that are enjoying DMZ. And
yeah, I think I'm gonna start like doing a little bit more with that, because now that I'm getting the hang of it, I mean, damn, it is.
Man, I thought I had such a badass idea for DMZ content where I was gonna do my key series, like go unlock random rooms and show people what's inside of them. I thought that would be like a really cool idea for a video series, and my first one just absolutely shit the bed. Maybe I need to try another one, but
I think I was thinking about that too, and I was thinking about your video because I watched that video. I was like, shit, this was like very helpful because this is exactly what I need. You know, this is what I needed to know, and you had it all there. I think the thing is, not everyone's playing, especially when this whole thing launched with season 1. Everyone's playing Warzone first. Then you have things like Building 21 and different things that are happening within DMZ, and people are going to start to play it more. And then down the road, people are going to be like, oh, I like this, blah, blah, I need this key. You know, how the hell do I do this? I'm at that point now. Like, I'll YouTube it and like, how do I, blah, 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 and like, oh, this is where it is. Okay, cool. So I feel like that's like it's like something that doesn't pay off right away. You know what I mean? It's you're playing the long game, because
maybe I need to do a couple
whenever
more.
someone gets that. Yeah, it's like I feel like that's something that you get more over time.
I thought it was a cool video because it would like show you like, is this key worth keeping or not? So because then you know what's behind that door and the loot's not good. Like I watched Crash's video and the loot wasn't that good, or oh, if you find this key,
Yeah.
like there's good shit in there. Like it would kind
And
of tell
like
people.
what do I hang on to that key because when do I need that key for a mission? You know, like there's a couple keys that like I destroyed or like didn't keep, and
Yeah,
then
I
like
did
oh
that too.
fuck, I needed it for a mission. Shit, now I can't find it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. So I thought that would be
And
a
there's
cool series, and maybe it just needs
yeah,
more episodes. I don't know, but we'll see.
I think Building 21's kind of like had a resurgence too because I've been seeing like we've been running into like some newer players too the past couple days on specifically like Almazra. Justin and I ran into like some guys that really didn't know what the hell they were doing today, and I mean, it's just it's just a lot of fun, dude. Those firefights are just a lot of fun. We were doing a mission where we needed the sock and MGs, 150 round belts,
Yep.
in a
Shoot down the choppers.
bipod. Yeah, and like we were over at airport and we had incendiary rounds and we had our stuff kitted out and like we just ran into teams and we had some crazy firefights that we came out on top of. So I mean, it's a very good sandbox experience because anything can happen. So it's never the same thing.
Yep. No, I need to give it some more time. I feel
And
like
now that
I
we're
have.
talking about it, like I gotta go play. I'm just gonna like
I feel I'm the same way watching this Search gameplay. I'm like, I'm going to be streaming
yeah.
Search after this.
I'm jonesing, dude.
Yeah. So man, I just think this game fits perfectly into Search and Destroy. Like it feels so good. Like the aesthetics and the graphics are what I'd want in a Search game. Like the modern combat and like
Yeah.
it's just a lot of fun to play Search. And then
I
the way the community is and the people that shit talk so
Yeah.
poorly and then just beating them
Mhm.
and making them leave is like
Oh, dude, it's the best.
my soul lives on that, man. Like it
Yeah,
feeds
it's the
on that.
best. It's
Oh,
the best, and nothing beats good like just out shit talking.
yeah, and it's like you just got destroyed by a 35-year-old. Like you're trash. I love it. I get it. I get it too.
That's the best. I know we have other topics, guys. So like really quick, I just wanted to mention this. I know as we were leading up to the release of the game, we were talking about like DMZ and all the leaks for that, and comparing to Tarkov, and how we were curious. You know, is this going to be a limited HUD? And there was things in the game files like inspects to look at like limited HUD, and remember like the same type of inspect for Tarkov where you'd had to take it out and do the inspect to see like your round count, things like that. So I'm curious, like, do you think that that's like part of it? Because like Building 21, we were all talking about like, man, this would be probably better with no HUD at all, and you have to
well,
do
they
an
did do
inspect
the
to see what
they
your
did
round
do the
count is.
no map, which I thought was interesting. No mini maps. You got to kind of learn the
Right,
map, which I
yeah.
thought was cool.
Yeah, it works well. It'd be cool to see those something like a limited mode within DMZ or something like that. Kind of like realism in Modern Warfare 2019. You know, you had limited HUD there, and it just changed the whole way the game played. Like realism, even in multiplayer. Like there was a point in Modern Warfare 2019, like specifically even Search. Like I didn't like the core multiplayer in that game, but they had the realism playlist out there for a while, and I would play the realism playlist to get like all my content, and it was so much different. Like the player base, and you had like nice people. You know, you didn't have people shit talking. Um, you had like cool dudes playing realism, and it was just a lot of fun because it really changed the dynamic. It was like you were playing a different game, which was awesome. So I'd like to see something like that come back maybe down the road, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to try that out. At least, I mean, since I guess it technically is a beta, so it would be cool. It would be cool to try that.
Yeah.
And see what it would play like. I think it would kind of defeat their purpose a little bit because I think they're trying to have an accessible way to get people hooked on that extraction loop. So I don't know. It would be different. I think I would enjoy it that way quite a bit. Quite a bit more.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, man. Yeah, there's a lot going on with that. Bottom line, I got to get back into DMZ. Have to just make myself do it.
You'll like it.
So the next thing I wanted to cover was Battlefield 2042's Nordvik event. There's some new game modes that sound interesting on there. Let me pull them up real quick. That's the wrong screen. Production team sucks. Real bad. Real bad. The production team needs to get their ass back into DMZ. So yeah, just cover it super fast, like what's going on. Essentially, it's other game modes that are kind of already in the game. No new actual content, which is still one of the biggest Achilles heel of this game. The new content comes in the form of skins, but like again on this game, the marketing team is absolutely insane. Like these images right here, um, of the with the nods and the explosions and stuff going on in the background is so badass
Epic.
looking. It looks so
Epic.
good. But like it's a 3-week event. The third week is Conquest Assault, December 20th through 27th. There's some cool cosmetics. The one thing that they did learn that I appreciate is they are very clear with what is free and what is purchasable. The last event, the Liquidators event, they made it sound like get in and you can earn all these skins. Well, earn meant like actually going to your 9 to 5, earning money and then paying them for the skins. That's how you earn them. Like you go to your job, you earn money and then you pay them money. That's how it was for like all but 3 of the skins. This one, they were a little bit more forthcoming with the information there. In week 2, which starts tomorrow, I'm going to get in and try this game mode. It's called Retribution. It's like it says it has MCOMs, kind of like Rush. And it sounds pretty cool. It's 16 versus 16. So it might feel pretty cool for infantry players like myself. It sounds like a neat game mode. So I want to try that out. But again, it's on the same one map that you got with the season. So that would get a little stale. And then week 3 is Breakthrough Chaos 64 v 64 with the small maps with 64 stuff. And then they talk about what's going on as far as things you can earn. Mission exclusive rewards. These look all right. It's that cool looking skin from the key art. But then it shows down below. This is what I appreciate them doing at least. You can see the free store items, different outfits, and then here's all the strike bundle for $24. With you get you get all this stuff. But at least they're showing what it is. And this is for week 2, to 16 versus 16. Attack, defend, rush for the win. I think that sounds pretty cool. It sounds like front lines like mixed with rush, mixed with conquest. So it sounds like I want to try it. 16 v 16 sounds pretty cool. And then yeah, there's the same things. You get 2 for free. There's what you can earn from gameplay. So headgears, outfits, and then there's the stuff on the screen that you buy for $14, not as much. And then the week 3 or the full summary of everything to January 10th. So it is content. It does sound cool. Again, it's not anything new. It's not like any new intellectual property. It's like remixing the same stuff that's in the game into different game modes, which is better than nothing. But the level of support that they're putting in is kind of sad.
Seems like they're putting more effort into the art than they are the game. I mean, that art, like I remember why I bought the game, because the art and all the promotional material is amazing. Like what I'm seeing there with that art, like that's the game I wanted, man. That game looks cool, but the art unfortunately does not represent what the game is, unfortunately. So
yeah,
kind of a bummer.
Dude, the trailer looks sick too. Like I'll pull up the trailer. The trailer looks super sick also.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to just watch. I'll look at the event and stuff like that. I always enjoy watching these things, but I definitely cannot bring myself to reinstall the game just because I'm too addicted to what I'm playing. I mean, the trailer yeah, you're right. This trailer looks amazing. I like the atmosphere there. Like this looks more. It looks more gritty and darker with especially that map aesthetics and the coloring looks. That's kind of more so about what I wanted to be playing. Honestly, that looks really cool. Looks like they're making changes for the better, obviously. So they're listening to the fans, hopefully. And I know that we're getting the class rework, I think, with this upcoming season, or is it late? It's coming maybe with this update or at some point, but
it's supposed to be during this season.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, it looks good. I'm just like, man,
what could have been, right?
Yeah, what could have been. It just, I think their vision. That's the hard part. Is like you and I talk about this game a lot and how disappointed we are, but I mean, their vision. Their vision, I think, was something awesome, and the game just never ever lived up to what their vision is. I think that's been made clear at this point. But the trailers are kind of showing what that vision was this whole time. We just really haven't gotten there. It seems like the game's obviously progressing further and further towards that, but we're over a year after release at this point, and it's still not quite there. But I will give them props. This looks like a really good update. So that's good for the people that are still playing it. That's awesome. And like I said, I'll always be a Battlefield player at heart over Call of Duty. So you know, I don't know. They can fool me
Yeah.
however many times they want. Next time I'm going to be more weary about buying, pre-ordering. But I mean, the problem, I'm still looking forward to, like, okay, this is great, but like, I want to see, let's see what the next one is. What are they making next? Like, announce what the timeline is, for that.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yep.
So
Yeah, they're definitely getting closer to their vision. I think they also changed the vision just a little bit when they saw the
Yeah.
backlash from the cartoony stuff that they put in the game at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's closer to a vision that most of us want. At the same time, their vision is missing many of the things that I think make Battlefield Battlefield. Even when the
True.
game is fully
True.
done and stuff like that. But it is good to see that they're getting the opportunity. The developers are at least getting the opportunity to push it through and finish, get it closer to their original vision. They're getting that time, I guess, even though sadly it is after many of us paid full price for the game. The other thing is I really, and don't get it twisted. I know I have an incredibly tiny presence on the internet and I have a tiny shitty YouTube channel, but it's just more of a principle thing. I don't want to support a game that treats the community like this because I don't want it to happen again. And I know it really doesn't make a shit if I make videos on it or not. It just doesn't feel right to me. Just who I am as a person to support a game that treated the community like this, that seems like intentionally deceived us with trailers that did not match the game at all. Took a lot of core mechanics that were important to a lot of people seemingly for no reason, and then had yet another launch that was so buggy. They've done it so many times that even the EA CEO said, well, they're pretty good at fixing this bullshit. Like, they've done it before. They've released broken stuff before, and they're pretty good at turning it around. It's like that just stop. Like, it's not okay to keep doing that to your community. And then the biggest cherry on top to me is the absolute laughable amount of content in this game from what we used to get. You did a game. Terrible. You said that you stopped Battlefield 5 early so you could get more done with this game, and it has the least amount of content ever. You said there's not going to be a single player because you want to spend more time on the multiplayer and have more content, and we have the least amount ever. You said Portal at launch was just the beginning. You've added 0 maps to it. Like, it's not okay to treat the community this way, in my opinion. And that's why I haven't been making a lot of videos. That's why I haven't been playing it. And that's why I haven't been supporting it. I know it doesn't, like, in the grand scheme of things, what Crash does has 0 effect on the outcome of the Battlefield franchise. It's just, for me to sleep at night, I could probably get more views playing Battlefield based on how I built my channel and tell people, oh, it's getting better. It's getting better. It's playing pretty good. It's getting close to their vision. It's playing like a real shooter now. But I don't want it to keep happening. I don't like it. It has to be, as a community, the Battlefield community has to expect more. We cannot get gaslit into thinking this is okay.
And that's where it comes, like, I mean, you said that perfectly. You summed it all up, and that's where it's like voting with your wallet. And that's what I think is, it's a lot of BS, because in my mind, it was definitely false advertising. This is not the game at launch specifically was not at all what they said it was going to be. It wasn't what they advertised. It was, I don't know what the hell we got at launch, and I don't know what the game still is. Now, are they doing good things? Sure. I think this game will be remembered. What people are going to think about this game depends mostly. It's probably always going to be negative, but it mostly depends on what the next Battlefield is, and if it's good, and if it's what the fans want, and if it is actually a good Battlefield game. We'll look back at this and say, okay, these later seasons of this game, you could see what they were doing, and that was kind of like the testing ground to get the engine code where they wanted to be, and build that framework to start, the new Battlefield, which we love. They did it. They came, but I mean, you're 100% right. And as you're saying all these things, I'm thinking back to what are the good experiences I had with this game. There's 2 good experiences that I had was day one playing Portal with Hyper, flying the helicopters in the Battlefield 3 Portal, just like we used to do in 2011, and that was the most fun I had with this game. Period. Was day one, first few hours of the game in Portal, flying that attack helicopter again with him on the gun and just fucking wrecking people like we used to. It was great because we were actually pro Battlefield players back in Bad Company 2, and we've always been a disgusting chopper team. So that was awesome. Big time nostalgia. The next good time I had with this game was in Karmakoot's Milsim server that he had for the Battlefield 3 Portal. He had a Milsim server, limited HUD, no HUD, all that stuff. It was awesome, and that was a way better way to play the game than how whatever they released. You had classes, you could customize that in the Portal, and it was like you were playing like a very watered down version of like an Arma or a squad minus all the crazy stuff. But like the intensity of the battle and the firefights was there in Karmakoot's Milsim server, and there were some other good Milsim servers there too that I had favorited, but that it never stayed live, so you would always lose them and they would have to remake them. Just a lot of really shitty things with this game. So yeah, this looks good, but I mean, you said it, man. This is not okay. And a lot of the people, I've always loved Level Cap, and I still love watching his videos no matter what. But I mean, a lot of the longtime Battlefield players like Level Cap, who isn't. I mean, he doesn't get. He must genuinely like this game, and that's cool. But it's hard for me to see somebody. He started playing, I think, in Battlefield 3, or maybe it was Bad Company 2. So he's been playing a decent amount of time for a Battlefield player, I feel. But anybody that played Battlefield 3 can't look at this game and be like, and think this is okay. So I can see if you don't have anything else to play, that this is like, and this is your content, your main thing for content, like this, that, good. But no way is this, you put this side by side with Battlefield 3. There's a reason Battlefield 3 Portal was what a lot of people were playing, because, I mean, the core game was just bad. So I don't know. Nothing else you can really say. You said it perfectly. So I hope they get their shit together over there in Sweden and figure out what the hell kind of game they're making.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they can collab with whoever for Fortnite 2, and I'll be there for that because I love Fortnite. So.
That's where you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope we'll see. I really hope that they aren't making a single player game and then going to release another multiplayer game with just as little content, so they can charge AAA prices twice for something that should have been.
It's going to get the Medal of Honor treatment. It's going to get the Medal of Honor treatment then, and bye Battlefield if they mess this up again.
I'm really concerned about that. So.
And that's like the other thing is like, what is this Marcus Leto studio? That's what we heard is like single player, like you were just mentioning. Are we going to get like a solo single player title? Because I don't want that.
That's what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
What the hell happened to like putting single player in your game with multiplayer? I mean,
well, they can't charge twice for it.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm worried about. It better be a big deal.
Yeah, and it's hard because historically Battlefield single players are always terrible, but Bad Company 1 and 2 were like comedy, and it was actually it was a nice change of pace, and I think those were actually probably the first single players. But Battlefield 3 had the best single player of any Battlefield, in my opinion, and Battlefield 4 completely sucked, and whatever else they've done after that has gotten away for war stories, and here they didn't do anything, and the multiplayer suffered. So it seems like, I mean, I don't know what they did in Battlefield. They need to spend the money and get the crew back who made Battlefield 3, because we need that damn game. We need those people who knew what they were doing to make that game again, because we need a good Battlefield. It's ridiculous. Look at the monster Call of Duty is right now. Battlefield used to be, right there. When you said Call of Duty, you also thought Battlefield. Those two could go in the same sentence together. And now, like, if someone mentions Battlefield, what do you think of? It's just like a laughing stock. So
yeah, and there's still it's still been confirmed by Drunk Z, the lead gameplay designer, that there is still a recoil and mouse input issue, and we're after later than a year. It's like that's
good.
That's just stuff that the community cannot get gaslit into thinking is okay and expecting being treated like that in the future. I just hope it doesn't happen. I have no part in it, but that's what I hope.
It's weird because I thought I must have been. I'm sorry, Crash. I must be mistaken. I thought we were talking about Battlefield, the game that came out on PC back in 2001, 2002, 2003. So you're talking about a new game that just released last year
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they haven't figured out the PC stuff yet. It's
yeah.
their first
First,
PC game, is what you're saying.
yeah. So give him a break. Give him a break.
Yeah, you're being, you have brutal expectations, Crash.
Yeah, I do.
You're a
Uh,
frame slut, and you need to dial back those expectations because they're too
I
brutal.
I am an asshole. So
You
that's
can't
good.
expect people to make PC games and have good mouse input. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Dude?
Yeah, I got a problem. I'm sorry. That's on me. That's on me.
Yeah.
That's on me. I'll get it together.
God, frame slut.
Jeez, I am so demanding. It's almost disgusting. Are you ready for everyone's favorite part of the program?
Oh God, I thought you'd never ask. Yeah.
Yeah, it's time for quick shots, ladies and gentlemen. This is the part of the show where we go over shots that are quick. We go over stories that are fast and small, and you would have never guessed it if I hadn't have told you. Okay, the first thing that I wanted to talk about was Dr. Disrespect Studio, the Midnight Society, has done Snapshot 4. Again, this is the game we're keeping our eye on, not only because we're scared of the NFTs, but also because it's being developed in a very interesting way, where they're giving snapshots out to supporters right off the bat and taking a lot of feedback. Their feedback surveys are very important. At the beginning of every dead drop, they talk about what was learned from the previous ones. They talk about everything that's been that feedback and how they addressed it and made changes. For instance, in this one, some folks talked about movement, and they updated the movement in this one based on feedback. So you can actually see the player feedback versus the new snapshots and what they're working on in them. So it's pretty cool. In this one, they changed controls, how you can drag and drop loot items. They changed movement. They added ledge hang. They added shimmy. Ooh.
There you go.
You can don't rush a door when you can shimmy to a window and mantle it, shimmy across the ledge until you're behind cover to avoid sniper fire. So what they're doing is, like, on small ledges and stuff, since this is a vertical extraction shooter, you can kind of shimmy around ledges and stuff like that, which is a new mechanic that's pretty cool. Hand over hand, you can slowly go up zip lines and climb it with your hands. They added the sniper rifle this time, and they went into a really long talk about, I watched some of it, about how they really wanted to, because Doc's always been the best sniper on the planet, right? The 2-time. So they put a lot of time and effort into the sniper rifle. They modeled it after a real one. I can't remember what it was. And then they kind of futurized it, and then they added swappable attachments this time, new optics. They changed magazines. They added laser sights and barrels and stocks that you can change. They added an armory, which is really cool. So in your stash, it is going to be like a looter extraction shooter vertical. They have an armory where your guns sit, and then they have like a stash where your other items sit. They added a backpack system, so a lot they added to this snapshot. Instigator system and stats, don't know what that is. ADS sensitivity slider, they didn't have that. That was a big request from the first playtest, and they added it here, so they talked about that. They added proximity chat and in-game feedback button, and then there's a whole bunch of patch notes. But that's like the big stuff they added. So this is the first like AAA game that's being developed, in the wide open with like blatant feedback. So it's pretty cool.
It's really good, yeah.
Minus the NFTs.
Transparency, yeah. Minus the NFTs.
We'll see.
The transparency is good, and I think that's something we talked about with Big Fry is like the transparency, and Road to Vostok, the transparency and the communication. So, there's a lot less like hate when you're clear about. I mean, look at Road to Vostok. He was very clear about everything he's doing and very transparent, and everyone's expectations are what he's saying. And I feel like everyone's expectations, like he goes far beyond them just because he's setting realistic expectations, but he's also doing an exceptionally great job with that game. So I think this type of feedback and transparency that we're seeing is really good in the gaming space. So Midnight Society, a couple of other ones going on here too, in this indie realm that are doing a really good job of that.
Agreed. So that's cool, and we're definitely keeping an eye on that. Now it's time for the next quick shot. This is something that popped up on my radar and then I forgot about and then I remembered again. And I'm gonna be really terrible at talking about this because I don't know a lot about it, but I do remember it being revealed. They've actually said they're adding a lot more people to Blizzard's survival game. It's currently led by the Far Cry 5 developer who was in charge of Far Cry 5, and they doubled his dev team in size. He was a producer of Far Cry 5, 4, and 3. And they reported that he's hired a bunch more folks to be on that team. A bunch of people who have worked on FPSs in the past, and some other ones that have worked on MMOs in the past. So Blizzard is popping in, even though they have DMZ. It looks like they're working on a new IP that is going to be a new survival game. They're putting their hat into the survival ring, past what DMZ is. And it says, Hey is leading the team, which is infusing this genre with Blizzard magic while crafting our first new IP since Overwatch. So this is going to be a brand new series, and it's going to be an FPS survival game by Blizzard. So
That sounds awesome. I'm curious. I want to know more details when we get further along. Like, what's the setting? You know, is it going to be a more grounded type of game, or is it going to be like more of my other favorite game, Fortnite, or like Valorant, something like that? Where are they going with this? Is what I want to know, because it has the potential. I mean, if it's the theme that you and I are mostly into, I mean, this is going to be a big win. So in Far Cry, like I really enjoyed. I think I played 4, maybe it was 5. Whatever the picture is
5
for that one, that's 5. Yeah. So I
It's pretty
played
fun.
5. Yeah, it was really fun. I liked it a lot. And yeah, the world, the missions, it was really, really cool. I had a great time with that game, and I didn't even come close to beating it. I was like maybe through like 1 or 2 of the regions, but this is pretty good. I mean, especially with Blizzard, they've doing a really good job with a lot of their titles. So seems like they're getting a lot of good experienced developers for this one.
Yeah, it'll be crazy to see because we talked about with Vostok with Auntie about like bucking that stigma of another early access survival
Right,
game. Like there's so many of those.
right.
So now we have one of the biggest, if
Mhm.
not the biggest, like studio slash publisher backing one. So this is going to be interesting to see what AAA incredibly high budget is going to be able to pull off in the genre, and where it's going to
It
stack up with some of these indie games.
exactly, and this is not, I mean, for whatever reason, when you're reading this to me and we're going through this, I can't help but think of, and maybe this will trigger it for you too. Let me know if this makes sense. Of Ghost Recon Frontline. So I'm just thinking, like, damn, could that be, just because of the setting and stuff was really cool, and like Ghost Recon Wildlands, like I would love like a first person version of that essentially. I wonder if we could see down the road them repurpose that into a survival game, not a battle royale, something different. Get rid of the Ghost Recon title and have something, because I mean that game, I think that was something you would probably play too if it wasn't released, announced the way it was. Everyone hated it, but I mean that's something, regardless of it being a Ghost Recon title, it was still something I was eager to get my hands on, to be honest. But I think if we talked about the Big Fire, if they dropped that Ghost Recon title, they already canned that project. But I mean, they did a lot of development on that. It was in beta at one point. Um, Maybe they repurpose that for a survival game instead, and I think that would have potential too. Because for some reason, this Blizzard title makes me think of that, because that's something I really enjoyed the way that looked. So I'm curious if Ubisoft might bring that out to try and compete with maybe the survival genre down the road. We'll have to see.
Yeah, based on the probable, we don't know any hard and fast numbers, but based on the probable success of DMZ, we could see some more AAA studios enter this space for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like. All right, cool. Next, they're quick. I'm telling you, like they're quick shots, so we're moving quick. The next thing that was interesting is we've been following along with the whole Sony, Microsoft, Blizzard, Activision saga. The incredible gaming's largest three-way ever. I can't say that. But yeah. So what's going on now is, so we've had these stories recently of Sony saying, that Microsoft being able to have access to these games and be able to make them exclusive would be horrible for competition, horrible for the consumers. It seems like they've, their voices have been heard by the FTC and they're suing them now, suing Microsoft to try to stop this merger. But on the contrary, in an internal QA, this is actually a pretty, excuse me, a pretty crazy story that Tom Henderson got over at Insider Gaming. An employee was their source that allegedly said Jim Ryan, which is the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, so in charge of the PlayStation, had an employee Q&A earlier this month, and he talked about market competition, and he was asked about Xbox Game Pass. So remember, Sony's been saying Microsoft will become too big. They'd put all their Call of Duty and stuff on Game Pass, and it would just kill our consoles. And remember, they threw Battlefield under the bus, saying not even Battlefield can compete with Call of Duty and all that stuff. Well, in an internal Q&A, Jim Ryan reportedly said that, quote, when we consider Game Pass, it seems to be getting lower Game Pass numbers. When we consider Game Pass, we've sold more PS5s in 2 years than they have gathered some subscribers, and they've been doing that for 6 to 7 years. So he sounds like they've sold more PS5s than Game Pass has subscribers, so they don't care. And again, in this article, Tom said it's surprising, since Sony said it's bad for competition, bad for the gaming industry, and bad for gamers themselves, if Microsoft is allowed to acquire Activision and Bungie. The plot thickens, okay?
It does very much.
The plot thickens. So I don't know. Any thoughts on that?
I not really. I mean, it's we'll have to see. I think Microsoft is doing a lot of things very well right now, and the fact that I don't know, Sony, I think they need to step it up at this point with PlayStation. I mean, I've been this is one thing with all the controversy with like the Call of Duty going to be exclusive, this and that we've been going over. And PlayStation's just been having a lot of bugs, although that I finally figured out that laggy audio and stuttering stuff, and it was because of the Bluetooth connection was being interfered, even though I'm right next to the PlayStation. So I had to like do a bunch of things to turn the Bluetooth off and have it connected to the cable at all times. And something so simple caused so many problems and was never an obvious answer. So like that's obviously separate from this, but I think we're seeing a lot in the news lately. Like Sony needs to kind of, instead of trying to block acquisitions and things like that, maybe they should invest in some of their core titles that they used to have. I think we talked about it with Big Fry, like Killzone, some of these IPs that they haven't really done anything with in a long time. There's a lot of opportunities there. They just haven't really been taking them. So who knows? Time will tell, I guess.
Yep. Agreed. But no, I just thought that was interesting. And I could see something like this potentially coming up in court, where, and the court's going to be crazy when we have, old rich people arguing about video games. It's going to be incredibly entertaining. I hope it's public. It might not be though. It's going to be interesting to read some of the quotes that come out of the courtroom though. But this, I can see this coming up if this is true. If this can be corroborated and proven that, Jim Ryan said, we're not worried about Game Pass. So then why are you saying over here you're worried about Game Pass? So I mean, this is a pretty big deal. I think it's not going to make much difference to us gamers. In the end, either way, we're still going to get all the titles released on everything, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's for entertainment value. I think we're there. I think we're there for entertainment value. Is our next story. Professional segue. We're getting better every week. Don't even worry about it. The next thing I wanted to talk about is Rainbow Six Siege. Also, by the way, just a quick side note on Rainbow Six Siege while I try to find where my cursor is on my screen. If you log in within the next few days, by like January, I can't remember the date, early January. If you log in the next few days, you get a legendary alpha pack that if you don't have all the operators, you'll get an actual operator for free. And if you do have all the operators, you get a legendary or higher item. So log in if you haven't. If you own the game, if you play it once in a while, and don't forget to grab the free content. But something that was crazy that kind of happened over the holiday break, that is just, dude, hackers, man. I don't know what to tell you. Unbelievable. they started sending images over the ban chat. So if you guys aren't familiar with Rainbow Six Siege, a lot of times on by default on the right side of your screen, just below like the kill feed and the round timer and stuff, is a ban feed. It shows you the bans, so you can see when BattleEye goes on a rampage and they update it and knocks out a bunch of hackers. You'll see the gamer tag was banned. This person was banned. This person's banned. This person. It pops up on your screen, and it's kind of a way to show the players that, hey, we're banning people. Well, somebody figured out a hack and a way to get into that and send images over the ban chat. And then, of course, people started sending not safe for work images, probably sending dick pics to people. That's what I heard, allegedly from people playing on Twitter, that they are actually sending that. The first thing I saw that was kind of good fun is a chicken. They kept sending a chicken. Let me see if I can pull this up on the screen so you guys can see it. In Rainbow Six, but yeah, they're pulling up a dang chicken. Yeah, it couldn't possibly be my internet out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, so anyway, I'll pull it up, but it's just crazy. Something like this did happen in New World, in the game chat. People were saying that, I remember that in New World, and it was actually kind of sketchy. They could actually change stuff and code in the game with the text chat in New World. So it was like a huge exploit in the game.
Jeez.
But yeah, you can see it here. Yeah, so put that chicken on his screen so he couldn't see in the gunfight. Images.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he popped up the image on the screen. So yeah, it's crazy what they were able to do. So to get around it, if you are a Rainbow Six Siege player, you can turn that off. Turn that ban wave feed off. It's in the settings, in the UI settings, and you can actually just turn it off, so you won't see it. But yeah, no, yeah, yeah. There was in New World you could actually change game code. It was incredible. It was incredibly sketchy. They had to like immediately take the game offline and patch it.
Yeah,
but,
a little bit of an injection problem.
There's the chicken again, but for a while it was just them sending pictures of the chicken, which was kind of good fun. Well, then they sent a male chicken. If you catch my drift, Then they picked images of pro player Rampy and stuff, and they kept doing it in the kill feed. So I assume since that goes on everybody's screen, would that not? I don't know. Would that not send it to everybody in the game?
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, is everybody who has that on must be seeing this, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but people are figuring out how to send images through the ban prompt or ban feed or whatever. So
that's good.
Yep,
good, clean fun.
So if you are gonna play Siege, for now until they put out official word that they fixed it, which I had not seen yet, you might go ahead and shut off the ban feed. Before you get it. I think that's all I had.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything in chat they want to talk about? Chat Q&A. Any questions you have or thoughts or discussion topics, let me know. I want to see the chicken one more time. But other than that, thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being with us during potentially your holiday break. I enjoy making this show quite a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely good. Not that I love having guests on. It was good just to kind of like talk about everything. You know, we haven't had a show. You and I were talking about the beginning. Haven't had a show with just us in a while, so we were able to just cover a lot of topics and get into some to the weeds with some things, which was good. So someone in chat also mentioned SOCOM is for one of those Sony exclusive IPs. So yeah, that's another one. They've just been sitting on SOCOM forever, you know. So be nice to have that back and be able to replay some of these games that the old SOCOMs get those things available, so I can just play them on PS5 if they're not already there,
and PC. But that doesn't make any sense. But do it anyway. But yeah. Oh, Space Ninja asks, will Doc's game be on console? That's the plan. Yeah, they're gonna get to console, and it's gonna be one of the first batches of Unreal 5 games. So it should look pretty cool once they get the lighting and stuff going. Seth, I thought that I was gonna talk to Buff about that. I thought about that. next week. We might do that for next week's episode. Have an end of year wrap up, highlights of the show, highlights of the games we covered, and things that we're looking forward to next year. That might be
That'd be cool.
a cool
That'd be
wrap
cool.
up show. So we might do that next week. So I have some cool stuff that I'm looking forward to next year that we could talk about, and then kind of look back on some of the episodes this week. I don't know if I can pay the production team enough to go through and pull up a bunch of highlights and stuff. I don't know if they're up for
Yeah,
that.
maybe we can just talk. Maybe we just talk about it instead.
We might do that because our budget's pretty low on the show. But yeah, I am interested if wherever you guys want to leave feedback, comments or Discord or whatever. I'm interested to see what you guys think of guests. I love having them because I learn so much, and I hope you guys do too. But finding that right amount of mix versus, you know, Buff and I just shooting the shit, what people kind of like. I would love to have kind of do more segments where we kind of combine it, and I don't know how I would work that. It would be really cool to have just some like kind of resident experts, like some other like smaller YouTubers that have news channels for like Valorant, maybe come on and do like a quick few minutes on what's going on with Valorant, and have them pop off and just get some experts and some guests that come on regularly and can just do segments. Would be really cool, and bring in some new information for you guys and stuff we can react to and talk about. I would love to have that. Maybe somebody pop in and talk about Tarkov, and somebody talk, you know, about different, just find some smaller news YouTubers that are working on building up their stuff too, like we are, and work together and have some segments and some experts come in and talk to you guys. So I don't know. That's something I've been thinking about. Definitely was thinking about the wrap up show though already. That would be pretty fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We will probably be doing that next week, I would think.
Love it. I'm down.
If Buff's okay with it.
Oh,
Leg day showdown between me and Buff. We're gonna have a squad off.
I lose that all day, dude.
I don't know. It depends. That might be the lift where my lower back is just like, you know what, I'm out, and you'd win.
My back just outlasts you.
Yeah. I always said it's like it's not like my leg strength that limit my squats. It's like my back maximum for the day. Like what can my lower back handle? And knees. Because I feel like your legs can push like literally anything you put on them. I feel like it's just like the rest of my body is like, whoa, what are we doing here?
Yeah, leg press I can do really well, and like anything else but squat. Like squats, like you get up to 315, and like that's kind of where I tap out. Just my body's not made to squat.
It starts to be like where the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Like the stress it puts on the rest of your body and the risk of injury is not worth the benefits that you get. It's like a diminishing returns, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't like to do weight in the gym where I start having to wrap shit, like where I start having to wrap my knees and wear extra belts, and like I don't like going that far, except for like I do always have to wear like elbow sleeves and stuff, but that's for anything. Like if I lift 80 weight, my elbows will hurt. So
yeah, my legs are not very strong, but leg press, that stuff, good. Just my like body mechanics don't like me squatting. So
I want to come up to your gym and sit on the leg press and have you like press me up and down, and I'll ride on it.
There you go.
I would do it. I'm good at providing weight. I can. My dad always said I made a really good door stop, like when I hold the door for people in high wind, because it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, there you go. Door staying put.
Thanks, Dad. Yeah, I think that's a program. You're gonna be streaming tonight, or are you gonna watch Jack Ryan?
I'm gonna go watch some Jack Ryan, but if I do, it'll probably be on Twitch later on, but we'll see. Might just have a chill night.
DMZ stream. Probably not tonight, but sometime this week. We'll get me and Ham and Hydro maybe do a DMZ stream, a trio.
Yeah, dude.
Or Buff can get me talked into it. Maybe
I'm gonna see you guys on Building 21 when it comes out again this week. I want to see. That's
I need to get some keys.
Just
Yeah.
not knowing where the fuck you're going. It's so confusing when you first get in there because it's like you're so immersive and you're just on edge because it's just crazy filled with shadow company. You don't know where the players are and you don't know where anything is. It's why it's an experience, man.
Which is like the first time me and Ham went to labs in Tarkov. We had no fucking
Yeah.
clue where we're going. We couldn't find the extract in the elevator, and we went MIA and died with all the badass loot we had because we killed a bunch of raiders and PMCs, and we couldn't get out because we couldn't figure out how the hell to get out of the damn thing. So yeah, it'd be pretty similar. I feel like
We had the same experience in Building 21, so it's the same thing.
yeah, I feel like it'd be pretty close. But I'm itching to play to sweat it out to some S&D and piss off some edgelords and get some toxic shit talking going.
There you go. I love it.
So I'm kind of excited about. So yeah, I guess I could technically plug my stream if anybody wants to watch toxic S&D. I'll be live tonight on twitch.tv/crash8. So we'll be live pretty soon over there. If anybody wants to hang out, it'll be pretty funny. And I'm off all week, so there's gonna be whiskey, and that's
what's up.
Even better.
God, yeah, that's where I'm at too, man. No work, no responsibilities. It's great.
But yeah, sounds good, Space. If we have room, I need to do it. I need to try it. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for an awesome show. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate everyone hanging out, being with us. I hope you guys have an awesome new year, because I think by this is the last stream of the year. You gotta say something like that, right? This is
yeah.
this is the last episode of the year.
See you guys next year.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I guess we'll do that then. Yeah, we'll see you guys next year. Bye.